Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a great week since I last podcasted, and I hope you're having a wonderful Easter if you're here in the States or if you're celebrating it elsewhere in the world. We have had an awesome one, and the last week has been so busy that if I tried to tell you everything that has happened, it would take so long. My husband's parents and his grandmother flew in this week, and so we have just been spending the whole week basically with them doing Easter things and lots of fun things with the kids, and so busy. But I did manage to finish the thing that I wanted to for the week, and this was all I worked on Monday through Friday. So I have my husband's sweater done. This is the Twilight pattern by Drops. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I knit it out of Leading Men Fiber Arts in the Into the Woods color in their DK base. And it still needs the ends all finished weaving and being woven in, and then I need to block it, or wash it and block it, and get my husband to see how well it fits on him. So it's kind of, the collar's kind of floppy right now, but it's a sleeve, nice and long. Here's the other sleeve, and there is the body of it. I think this color works really well because it's variegated, but it's not so variegated that it is going to look extremely crazy when he's wearing it, but it just, I was showing this to a friend and they kind of described it as a field of grass, so that's kind of what it looks like. And hopefully I can get my husband to come on the podcast soon, maybe in April or May, and wear this, even though in Texas it will be way too hot for this in April and May. But I'm so glad this is done. Last week I had that shawl finished that took me 2 months, and then I had this finished, which took me a little over 2 months. So 2 things that have been on my needles for a very long time are now off, and it frees me up to do so many new things. But since there were people down here, and I never really knit when my in-laws are visiting, I don't know why, but I don't carry my knitting out in public with me when they're there because I don't want to embarrass them, because that would embarrass them if I were knitting in public with them there. So I don't really do that, and I just kind of knit at night. So I did knit in the carpool line, but all the other things that I had to work on got very little done on them because I was concentrating on that sweater. But let me show you the first, and this is in my Absolute Wonder bag. I flipped it inside out. It's kind of reversible, but there were the shamrocks, and now it's green polka dots. And this is my Alaskan Nancy self-striping socks that I am knitting up. Right there, the lupine in bloom. And last week I was at this little Sucre miniature, my little rabbit cookie stitch marker. And so while I was getting my son from school and riding in the car a couple times, so not much, but I knit all those stripes and turned the heel, and then I started up the cuff. But I'm not worried about getting it done because I know that self-striping socks I can do one in a day if I just, have a lot of time to work on it. Because I'm hoping to get everything that I have on the needles maybe done by the end of March so I can enter it all for stuff for winter camp, because that is ending this month, the thing that I'm in for Ravelry with some friends, and I'm hoping to get all this entered so I can get my team some points. And then the next thing, and this I worked on probably of all the things that I've shown you the least this week. And it's kind of because I've hit a little like a bump in the road, and I wanted to ask you your opinion. So if you have any ideas on this. So this is my You Sew and Sew bag that I love. But so I am knitting the Alpine mittens out of some mustache yarn that I got at DFW Fiber Fest in my using up all my yarn. But I'm not it's not a self-striping, it's a variegated, and it's definitely pooling. See, there's like the browns, it's like pink, and then the browns, and then on this side we have pinks and blues. So, and I thought that since it's garter, it would look a lot better than it would, of course, in stockinette, since it would help to not have the pooling be so obvious. And I also thought that with the thumb increases, that it would be increasing often enough that it would not all pool in one spot, that it would kind of change as it went. But it's not really doing that very quickly, so it is definitely causing that kind of like this side is this color, this side is this color. But I'm not sure if I should rip it out. I don't even know if this yarn would frog well because it's so nice and fluffy. But I don't know, do you have a pattern that you really love for variegated mittens or something like, because you could not do a cable with it, you could not really do lace, the yarn wouldn't showcase any of those. And I researched a long time on Ravelry trying to find the perfect pattern, and I thought that this garter stitch mitten would be perfect, but it's not working out as well as I would like. Maybe I'll just keep going with it and just have mittens that on one side are pink and blue and on the other side are different shades of brown. But I didn't really want that. So if you have any suggestions what I could do, please let me know, or any patterns that showcase off, because it's a beautiful variegated yarn. I just, one of those instances where the yarn and the pattern aren't quite working out well. And then the next thing, in my Diana Couture bag that I love for knitting all of my 2-color shawls, this is a Serena bag, and she's going to be at DFW. What you do is I put my 2 skeins that I'm using for my 2 colors in right next to each other in the bag, and then you can pull the yarn through there. So your cakes just sit nicely in there. And this is my Paper White by Alicia Plummer, and like I said, just a little bit worked on other stuff because I was finishing the sweater and we had visitors. But I did take this to visit some friends up in Austin yesterday and knit on that. So just kind of drove up there for a couple hours and knit. So I got that much done this week, which is really quite sad. But I just have the last blue panel, and then, which is this blue, and then I have the lace border, which is in that. And I'm knitting this with some skein yarn. And since the Diana Couture bags have wonderful pockets, I have all my stuff in there. Some skein yarn, and the blue is cobalt, and the kind of off-white cream is champagne. And skein is so wonderful to knit with. It's just the nicest in-hand yarn. I really love it. It's one of probably my top 5 softest yarns. It's very nice to work with. And then I started something new that really can't even be counted as something new because I haven't even finished casting on. But I just wanted to start casting it on because it is my last skein from DFW Fiber Fest that I got last year. So yay, all my DFW yarn is out of the stash, which was my goal. And this is in one of my favorite bags. This is from my friend Rista1313 Susan, who I met at a knitting retreat a couple years ago. And I bought this from her a while ago online, but I still love knitting and knitting with this, using this bag and showing it. She has such fun fabric choices. And she has cute little buttons on her. I think the best way to get her bags, she does random updates, is to follow her on Instagram, Shrista1313, and you can see there. But like I said, oh, and the inside is beautiful too. The butterflies and flowers and with like a minty green background. But this is the last skein, and it's Western Sky Knits. And this is their worsted, and it is in the color Pink Speckled Egg, and it's a MCN, and it feels lovely. I'm just gonna have a sip of my drink. I'm trying the new Starbucks honey drink. It's very good. So I am knitting a hat with this lovely yarn, And I am going to be making, I believe it's called the caramel, I'm going to remember the exact name, caramel something, but it's by Alicia Plummer. Oh, caramel brulee. I just looked it up, but there's that. It's kind of like falling off the cake because I wound it really quickly, but I am like 20 stitches into the cast on, and I am loving working with this yarn. And I know that hats, they only take me a tiny bit to get done, so this will definitely be done this week. Now those mittens with the mustache yarn, those will not be done before I go for the festival, but that's okay because it's being reconsidered, the entire project, but I tried to use it. And then that is all of my works in progress that I had, so those 4. Now on to spinning. Well, we'd be on to spinning, but since people were here, and I did mean to spin, for my husband's grandmother really wanted to see me spin, but we just didn't have time. We never got around to it, and my spinning wheels kept up in my room because cats and small children and even older children and husband stuff. I have to have like a prepared space to spin so that it doesn't get broken or messed with. And so no spinning, sadly. Hopefully I have that one braid that I started prepping it into my pencil roving, but that's basically all that got done with that. And then on to group news. We have a couple things going on in the group right now, and I have the notes on my phone just so I don't forget anything. But we have our shawl cal going on, and this is the last couple days of it. So if you've finished a shawl in January, February, or March, go ahead and get that in for prizes to the BookishStitcher group on Ravelry, because you have to be a member to win the prize. And we have a grand prize for that from the finished object, and then we'll have a couple other prizes for the chatter thread. So go ahead and chat away and tell people what you're working on or what shawls that you've done that you loved, and I will be drawing prizes for that next week. And then we had our story read along for the year that we're doing with Amy, who is the host of Knit Theory. And Amy picked the story for the month of March, and I absolutely loved it, Amy. Thank you so much for picking this one. It was a Russian short story, and it came from a collection. Brenda, who is Good Yarn, who put the links up because she helps moderate the group. Thank you so much, Brenda. She put that up there, and it's a short story found in a collection of Russian short stories. And it was The Bet by Anton Chekhov. And it was very short. I would say if you have 15 minutes and you're looking for a good story that will really make you think, definitely go check it out. I kind of deals with the question of, are we a prisoner to certain things in our lives, and just how knowledge and wealth can affect us in different ways. And I found it absolutely fascinating to just explore the ideas that are presented in the story. And I look forward to going back and reading some of the other ones in the Russian short story collection, because as you know, I love all my Russian things. And then the next thing we had in the group news is that we had the next knit along that's coming up. It's kind of a knit along read along, and I'm going to be putting up a thread for that. I know I said I was going to last week, but then we were cleaning for company, and then company came and they've been here, and then I'm kind of recuperating because, as you guys know, I'm an introvert, so having people, being constantly on the move, constantly talking and seeing and doing and stuff, that kind of makes me tired, as you've seen after retreats when I had a wonderful time, but I'm very, very ready to rest and get some relaxation in. But we're going to have the read a book, any book you want. It can be comic book, it can be graphic novel, it can be a romance, it can be fiction, nonfiction, anything is fine with me. It can be a kid's book. And then just knit something that you think a character would wear in the story, or if you're reading a book that has knitting in it, because I've been reading a couple books that have knitting in it, then something a character would knit, or just anything really, it's so easy to tie stuff in, and I'm so laid back about that, as you guys know. And we'll have prizes for that. My friend Amanda from Stitching You and More is making some bags for me, and I'm going to be getting them from her at the DFW Fiber Fest when I get to meet her in person and give her a big hug. And then my friend Brenda at Good Yarn sent in some 3 skeins of handspun that she did a while ago, and those are going to be the prize for this read-along, knit-along. And that will be going April and May. So I hope you'll join us for that, and I'm going to put the thread up and we can start discussing the books that we're going to read for that, because I love discussing books with you guys and reading the book thread. Some of my favorites. And then the last thing we had for group news is we had a drawing in the group for Mrs. Brown's bag. So thank you again so much, Jody, for sending this bag for a giveaway. And this is the bag. It's labeled. And here's her card, if you can see that. Oh, there you go. There's her card. And it says, Mrs. Brown's Bags, Whimsical Yarn Totes. And this is just beautifully packaged. How she did it all, so gorgeous. And I drew a winner for this using random number generator from the posts that were posted for the people. And the winner was post number 114, Nora Brown. So, and she had a picture of her golden retrievers and said that she would love her goldens on a bag. So Nora, I'm assuming your name is Nora. Nora, when you see this, please contact me and tell me that you've seen, give me your address. So, yay. And she's going to be having some kits available, I know, coming up. Miss Brown's Bag with yarn and stuff. She's got a couple people that she's collaborating with. So she has some really fun upcoming things in her shop for the summertime and the spring. But just keep going back and checking her Etsy shop. And definitely follow her on Instagram so you can see when she updates her bags and things. Now to enabling. I did not actually think I was going to have any enabling to show this week, because I haven't bought anything because I got stuff for my birthday, but then all my birthday money that I got from my mom and my dad and my husband's grandmother gave me some when she was here, and just very sweet. So I have quite a good chunk saved up for DFW Fiber Fest, which is next weekend. And I was going to say, if you're going to that, please write in the thread for this week on Ravelry and let me know, because it helps me, because I would love to get to meet you, but it helps me keep in mind, like, try to remember to find you or to say hi and to know people's names. It just makes me a little less nervous when I know I'm going to be meeting someone or talking to them, because I always get nervous at big event things. I don't know why. It's just part of my personality. But yeah, definitely let me know in the Ravelry thread that you're going to be there, and I will make sure that we get to hang out and talk, because I would love to sit and knit with you or go around the market and do some yarn shopping with you. But since I was saving all my money for DFW, I didn't expect to have any enabling this week, but I did some swaps and sent some friends packages, and they had sent me something back, kind of like a swap between, an unofficial, like it wasn't part of any big swap thing, just swap between friends. And so those came in this week. I don't have everything here because I'll explain when I get to it. But so the first swap was with my friend who is an amazingly talented designer, Circe Boucle on Ravelry, and I knit her Cablelicious Beret, and she also gifted me another cloche pattern that I'm looking forward to wearing, and she and I have been conversing a little bit in French, which has been fun. And I sent her package off, I don't know, a week and a half ago, so hopefully she's either gotten it or is going to be getting it soon. I'm excited to see how she likes it. But she sent me this gorgeous skein of Regia, and it's a 4-ply, and these are perfect colors. Absolutely love these colors. She also sent me a book of French poems, French prose, and it's all in French, and I love this. I'm very excited to go through it. I definitely see some names that I recognize. And she sent me this adorable little bag, and then some stickers and some paper to use. This paper is very pretty, and I love stickers. I put stickers on everything. It's like I'm a kid. I always put stickers. And this, she sent me some Knit Pro Zing, which I am so excited to try because I've heard great things, and you can't get them in America as far as I know. And let's see. She sent me a card, which I won't read to you guys, but it's fun because she was actually, I believe, given some stationery from my friend Robin. And so it's like it's making full circle in the knitting community. And this is a gorgeous card, Robin. And thank you so much. It was just very sweet. So thank you so much, Celine. It's gorgeous. And then she sent some little extras like tea and some little candies. And that was a wonderful package to receive. And then I did a swap with my friend Erin, who does Bling Your String, and she sent this huge box. And when I was like, oh my gosh, I have to send Erin more stuff. But she sent a whole bunch of stuff for my kids, like craft stuff, which is very fun. They had lots of fun. That's not even here to show. And actually some of the creations are over there. But they had so much fun building with that, and my in-laws were just, somebody sent you all this stuff. That's so cool. I got a package from Canada and a package from France in the same week, and that was wonderful. But so Erin and I did a hand spun swap, and I sent her hand spun. My package I sent later than she sent hers, I think, because I am a post office slacker. But this is the hand spun she did for me. It is Leading Men Fiber Arts Superwash Woolen Nylon, 445 yards, I believe. And it is stunning. And it's a sock yarn. I'm going to have hand knit socks. Yay. And it feels nice and tightly plied, so it'll be great and long-lasting socks. And then she spoiled me so much. She sent me some DY3 Hard Fiber Arts. The wait is over. This fun, bright, cheery, self-striping yarn. And then she sent me one of her own hand-dyed yarns in this gorgeous, I'll show this up very close, gorgeous, gorgeous color. And this is the Bling Your String Twist Sock in that Zenobia. I think that is stunning. Thank you so much, Erin. And this little stitch marker. And then, oh wait, this also was from Celine. So pretty. Isn't that neat? It's a little pendant for a girl, French girl. Sorry, I have everything in it open. This is also from Celine. I have everything in a Target bag, so it's just some buttons, beautiful floral buttons. Everything in this Target bag, so it's just kind of all mixed together. And then this is also from Erin. It's a Notion tin, little alpaca. And then she sent me a stitch marker. It's a progress marker. I call them progress markers because to me, they mark your progress. I know people have different names for them, like progress keeper, but I call them progress marker because it's marking the progress. And then she sent me a Notions wristlet starter. It's so cute. I love the purple, and there's her label. It has a pin, it has like a little, I think it's like a little thing to hold your needles in. But I haven't opened it, and I'm not going to open it here because it'll be really crinkly. And then some tea. I believe this was sent by Erin. And she sent some yummy Canadian candy. And my daughter loves Coffee Crisp Canadian candy bar. I got one out, and I was having some of it, and I had the first bite. And I asked her if she would like a bite, and she took the whole thing and would not give it back. So it was very cute. She definitely loves some Canadian candy. So that is all the enabling. It's so much because I definitely got spoiled more than I ever thought. And I'm going to have to send Erin another package because mine is not as must not have as many things as hers did in it. But thank you, Erin, so much, and thank you, Celine, for the wonderful packages from France and Canada. It's so much fun having international friends and getting to send and receive stuff all the way around the world, different stuff that you possibly would never get to try unless you send the package. But so that is everything that I had for knitting related. Next up is the book for this week. And as I talked a little while ago, I am in the process, very slowly, of reading all the books from the tournament of books. I believe there were 16. I think the tournament's either at a close, like finished, or almost at a close. I meant to research that before I started podcasting, but I didn't have the time. But I have completed reading about a quarter of the books in it. I've read four, I believe 4 or 5 out of the 16. And so I was going to I've reviewed one other one on the podcast, but I was going to review one of the other ones from it today. So this is a hefty, hefty book, and it's Bats of the Republic by Zachary Thomas Dodson. Zachary Thomas Dodson. And this book kind of reminds me of the book I reviewed a while ago called Supernatural Enhancements, and I think it is Enhancements, not Enchantments. But it is mixed media almost, but this takes it to a whole new level. And it calls it an illuminated novel. So basically, this is a really fun part in it, but like you can open this up. It says on the one side, it says do not open, but you can open this up, and inside there is a secret paper that tells you supposedly the mystery to the entire story, because this story has different periods in time within it. It tells the story of these two sisters that were, basically the idea is that it's a dystopian novel set in Texas, and the Sisters Gray is like a fictional account of these real sisters that were from the past and needed to get married and all that stuff, and I'm going to show you some. But the sisters needed to get married, but it was kind of foretold that they needed to marry these certain people, and if they didn't, that things would happen. And their aunts in the story are kind of mystics. And then it also takes place in the future where the world has kind of collapsed and you're only safe in certain areas of this book takes place in the United States. And there are, I believe, what's called city-states. And the city-states, there are a few of them. There's one for like children. There's one for young single adults. There's one for young families, older people, and they're all in these different parts of the country, and you live within there, and then when you're done with that phase of life, you move on. And so the people that kind of help run this, the city-states, are these people that are in charge, and it gets passed down through the bloodline. And the current character in the modern day, his grandfather has just died and passed down this secret to him, and he has to kind of, you're not allowed to have secrets basically in this modern Texas, and the Texas person who's in charge of the area is very mean and very underhanded and all these kind of things, and spying. And so I enjoyed the book. I definitely enjoyed the mixed media element to it, but at the end, if you've read this book, please let me know. At the end, I was just like, what happened? I felt like there was this very big lead up to we're going to find out this thing. And then I felt like it said, okay, well, this might have happened, but this might have not. What do you think? Or, like just kind of left it hanging. And I really wanted to know concrete, like this happened. But it didn't really tell you. Maybe I didn't read it clearly enough, or maybe I was falling asleep as I was finishing the end. But if you've read this book and you know what happened in the end, like you feel like it told you, and that I'm crazy because but please write me, like, see, different mixed media things. And it has, let me see if I can find really quickly for you. It has pictures, there we go. It has pictures that this man that was traveling down to Texas to give this person a letter, drew a field guide of different animals along the way. Oh, but the really neat thing that this book does, and they talk about it, is that some of the money from the proceeds of this book goes to help bats, because as you guys know, because of the white nose fungus, the bats are disappearing around parts of the world, and it's not good because bats eat bugs and without bats, you know, the bugs might take over a little bit. But I could go into that a lot, and I just finished reading a book today about kind of that certain topic. But I would say for this book, get it from your library and read it and see if you like it. And then if you do, go and buy it, or, you know, because it's definitely a book that's just great to have because it's so interesting and there's so many different things in it that were a lot of fun to look at. But this is Bats of the Republic by Zachary Thomas Dodson. And that is all I have for you guys this week. If you're going to be at DFW, please write in the Ravelry thread and let me know. And if you have read Bats of the Republic and the ending made more sense to you than it did to me, because like I said, I get very distracted occasionally, and I could have just completely missed the point of the end of the book. I should maybe go back and try rereading it. But I hope you have a wonderful week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.